or we're talking about a subject that you cannot resist throwing down your opinion on, because I just want to go over some crypto news, stories from the year. If we touch on something that lights your fire, or if you want to tell me how wrong I am, please come up, because we're looking for good conversation today. So without further ado, I want to go right to Mr. Lightspeed and say, hey man, it's been too long. How have you been? What's good?
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. I have been pretty much buried in code for the last month and a half or so. And I'm glad I finally got that 4.0 out today. I was getting worried if I could get it done in time before the holidays, because I want people to really have fun with this one. It's got some really cool, fun adjustments that have been made to it and enhancements. And I want to thank the Holder group for testing it out and giving me feedback, because it all comes down to AI is dull. It can be boring. It wants to be perfect. And how can you create an AI that can respond with some humanity? How can you get an AI to empathize, right? And that's just the tip of the iceberg, Shane. But we have a few examples already of how we're succeeding in that area and having a bot substantively contribute to a conversation amongst a group. So have fun with it.
There are so many changes to this thing that we'll actually have to have an opportunity, probably for a spaces where everybody that has this installed within their groups gets together, and I can let you go hardcore into how the new options menu works, how the admin access works, and stuff like that. Because as it gets more complicated, we're going to need to have more of that kind of like a developer conversation with people. But what I actually want to focus on, because I know you could go all day about the bot, because that's the thing you like to talk about. I like to talk about the things that make people uncomfortable, and what you don't want to talk about is the amazing personal growth that you've made over the last 6 months, because I'm super excited for what you switched gears to, basically, and kind of like dug into your past about this. So can you tell me a little bit about what it has been like stepping back into this role as you learned to do what you used to know and bridged the gap between that and what you're doing now? What's it been like?
Oh, you mean with coding and artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural language processing? These are all things I got to learn when I was a program manager, overseeing a lot of coders, and I was really more in the hardware realm of things, of building a space computer for a future Mars rover that would have a mission set. So artificial intelligence capable Mars rover, where you give it a mission, you say, we need you to collect samples in this area, report back if you need any guidance, otherwise you know what you need to do. And it would decide based upon what it sees through cameras, the traction under its treads, soil analysis, the best way to get to and from things, how to navigate obstacles and complete its mission. So that's where I got my initial passion for AI. And I had learned enough. I had learned to code back in the early 90s. I'm old. I'm just, that's just the truth. But those fundamentals don't change. It's pure logic. So relearning Python was a snap. And I was lucky enough to have worked and oversee software engineers to be dangerous enough to jump in and code if I ever needed to. I'm not the most efficient, but I'm persistent at least. And took that inspiration and put it into the bot. And so it was all about how can we make the development of it go faster, because nevertheless, it's still a crypto project, right, Shane? And so things got to move fast, and I like to move fast, and I'm very impatient. So let's get the development going. So that's why I jumped in to help. And also talking to other people who have some great talents to see if we can build out a dream team to see what else we can build on it. Because now we got a skeleton on it that can further expand and have more fun with.
My favorite thing,
origin.
I'm obsessed with personal growth and development. So I'm just loving how this was something that your previous experience is now tying into with what you were doing here, how you've been able to keep that alive and bridge that gap. I think that's very, very cool. Other people here have been doing a lot of work throughout the year. So that's the questions that I'm kind of asking him right now are going to kind of be similar to what I'm asking you guys. So as you're listening to how I'm asking him these questions, just kind of think about that. Like, I'm kind of interested in like what Tangent's years been like? What have you guys been through? You know, I'll be asking what now payments, like what kind of things have you been through, like personal growth and stuff, those kinds of questions, because I really like hearing about what people felt like they overcame. You know, I don't want to be like end of year dramatic or anything, but like because 2023 was different for everyone. I'm sure everyone had some things they had to overcome. So if you feel like there was something you were really up against, because I know the switch back to coding for Lightspeed was something I got to witness myself, but for the rest of you, I might not have got to see some cool stuff. Like, what did you struggle with? What did you overcome? Can you think of something like that? Famil, can you think of something maybe you or the company this year really fought with and finally bridged a gap on?
I can tell you, there's so many things we were challenged, we learned, we experienced, we met. So we met millions of good people, of customers, of loved people in the blockchain industry. I mean, we are here a family. We're a crypto family. Sorry, no, we're the blockchain family, and it is so phenomenal to be part of that group, to be part of that awesome people. I mean, especially with you, Shane, and with Miss Lightspeed, with the Shiba community, also with the Bad AI community. So, and I'm so sorry, I messed that in the beginning. It's bad to be here. I need to say that again. So, most likely, it was a very interesting and rough year for Tangent. We bumped up our sales so dramatically. We were challenged with so many things: supply shortages, new products. I mean, we launched our 2.0 card out of the wish of the community, out of the voice of the very strong voice of our customers, of our valid customers, and the feedback we got from the community. So, I mean, it couldn't be better for us. For sure, we hate what happened to Ledger. We hate what happened to the complete industry, that we lost a lot of trust from the users to, in general, hardware wallets. But I think what Tangent really makes much better than everybody else in the world, we're close to our community. We love our community. We love every single sentence, every single feedback, every good word, every bad word, and we learn from the community. Yeah. So, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit repetitive to the speech yesterday, but we couldn't highlight our community more, not so much as it should be. I mean, our main sentences on our old website was, "We're the bridge between 8 billion people and the blockchain, and this is what we like to be." And you couldn't be that if you're not listen, if you don't show, if you don't if you don't develop yourself, if you don't be at the heartbeat of the community. And I think that's what all makes it out. So another really big milestone for us was also getting our warehouse filled up. And I can tell you, our team around the world is working so hard to proceed all the purchases, all the orders from our customers, to make sure that everybody gets his Tangent cards right on time. Also, the Bad AI cards get shipped, I think last week, Ms. Lightspeed, correct me if I'm wrong. So we have the first batch sent out. And
Yep.
we're so thrilled to see the first unboxings, and we're more than happy to have partners like Bad AI, also the Shiba community. It is phenomenal. I mean, my tears could fill up with my eyes could fill up with tears, because we're having had such a great year. And not only the 2.0 card was our first idea, we also plan to launch by the end of the year our wearable series, our first ring, what you can use as a hardware wallet. So you get it on your finger and you sign your transactions without even opening your physical wallet, where you got your cards in, your Tangent card, your Bad AI card, your Shiba card in. But I mean, we were also challenged with a couple of supply delays and a couple of quality delays. So unfortunately, we shifted that out to the first quarter of next year. But quality comes first for us, and we want to make sure that we present and produce a 100% right product to our community. That nobody have any issues, any failures. Quality is good, finish is good, packing is good. I mean, everything have to be perfect for our valid customers. And what really thrilled us, we as Tangent have passed the second external independent firmware audit by another company. So, and I can say that out loud, we as Tangent are the only hardware wallet supplier who have passed a second firmware audit, independent audit by third party. What really thrills us. And this was a big milestone for us. The whole team worked very hard on that, and we are really more than thankful for that. So, yeah, I mean, again, a lot happens this year. I also made my journey with Tangent together, and I'm thankful for everybody in the team. It's a hardworking team, but again, a good team is nothing without such a great community. And we as Tangent want to say thank you 1,000 times for all your effort, for all your feedback, for all your kind words, for everything we got from you, and we try to give it back 1,000 times to you. Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you, Famil. And second of all, and this is me stepping out of my normal spaces because this is not supposed to be a normal spaces. Do you guys hear what a pro he is? Like, can you see why Tangent sends him out? Because I've listened probably now to like 4 or 5 spaces where he's been in there, and whether I was talking to him or whether I was just listening and stuff. You are so good at this. I know I said this to you between our last conversation and stuff, but good for you for 2023 and making it through and finding a way to be on this platform, which has been an ever-changing dumpster fire to navigate and be productive on. So for anyone that's here on X that's doing what Famil does or doing what I do, speakers on X are I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but they're hard to come by. And someone that's as good at what he's doing right now, you don't always notice how good someone is. So happy 2023 to you, man, because I could listen to you talk all day. And again, you're always welcome to come to other spaces and stuff because, like I said, I could listen all the time. And Tangent, I hope you guys are taking care of this guy because the end of the year is when people negotiate their raises and stuff. So other people are listening right now. And Famil's hot property. So I love you guys. Keep it up. Thank you for giving us the update. And what I want to do is segue from Famil and Tangent to Cryptic because we've got crossover between Tangent and Cryptic that I have to give Dave an opportunity to get in on. So Dave, if you're near your microphone, I want to hear kind of the same thing. What has your struggle with 2023? If you had to think back to like the one thing you were like, man, this was my one thing I had to overcome, because if you guys don't know Cryptic, they have a browser, an internet browser that you can download and use to surf the internet. And it has a lot of integrations with Shibarium. It's got Bad Idea integrated right along the side as a cool little widget. And we are happy to be integrated into their software. And also, and I'll let Dave talk about it for the most part, their NFTs that just released, or their FFTs that just released, are helping us connect people with the Bad Idea Tangent wallets. So Dave, if you're there, can you pick up on what's it been like for 2023, brother?
How are we doing, guys? I mean, I've got to first off say, I mean, for me personally, 2023 was actually the year where I actually got myself a Tangent wallet. So I came over to Shib quite early with a few friends. And I mean, first of all, I've got to say, I'd say it's been a challenge, but it's not, because there's so many great people that are open to work and open to listen. I think probably the single biggest challenge for me, I think a lot of it's legitimacy, because when you're effectively starting up yourself, you need to surround yourself with the right people. And in crypto, it's quite hard to do that sometimes. So as much as it's been a bit of a challenge, I mean, it's a challenge I think we've done very well at. And, we've got a lot of great friends around us. The only other challenge apart from that, we had the migration over to Shibarium on day one. I think a lot of what we think about now, I mean, from a software and a platform perspective, we work quietly, we get things done. There are some things for us to show. But apart from that, I think a challenge for us is the challenge for everybody on Shibarium at the minute, which is to, branch ourselves out, bring in new investors to the chain. It's not about our market cap as such at the moment. I'm more look at that TVL. So a lot of what I've been doing is learning from people like yourself, Shane, people like Lightspeed, Anderson. A lot of it's community, but it's also how do you scale your products? How do you market accordingly? Where are the best places for you to go to get the bang for your buck on your time, if you will? So a lot on that front. I mean, the development side's something I've always kind of been at home with, but when you're in crypto, you're not just a coder, are you? You need to have everything. So a lot of that, a lot of surrounding myself with great people. I'll touch on the FFTs as well. So yeah, we released the first investment fund for Shibarium. So what it does, it effectively does 2 things. One, it reinvests into the ecosystem. So I think so far we've invested well over 15,000 bone. So we've invested into 7 projects and we're locking the tokens away. What we're then looking to do after they unlock in a year's time is to distribute to the people that have acquired the assets, the FFTs. So on that front, what we're looking to do, we're looking to lock some liquidity into Shibarium while also providing an asset that we expect to be doing extremely well. I mean, we started I believe we were 70% of the original investment, but I believe the floor price is above it now. So doing incredibly well on them. But further than that, one of the commitments we wanted to do, we want to make sure people not only make their money in the space, but we need to provide a way for them to keep it safe. For example, I had someone try and hack my Telegram earlier. I got the 2FA come up, and I think it's at the point now where it's such an important thing. So for us to speak to you guys and allocate, I believe it's 15%, which is 15,000 bone, just to buy in Tangent wallets. So we've raised, I believe it's over 3,000 bone at the moment. We've got enough for, I'm going to say, around 35% of what Tangent has left of the bad supply. But that's something we're looking to push forward with. We're looking to get these purchased, and then we're looking to get them in the hands of the holders. It's something that I did a few months ago, and honestly, I feel so much better with with my assets secure.
Well, I can imagine that Tangent is thrilled to hear about you already having a wallet, because it's not like you're blind getting into this. You've tested it, you've had it yourself, you've tried the technology, so you're recommending it, and as a benefit to the holders, I think it's like 130 something left of these wallets that you're going to hopefully end up picking up. It's a fantastic benefit for everybody. And offline, we need Tangent and Cryptic. Make sure you guys connect with the DM and stuff so we can follow up on this conversation about what it's going to take to accomplish this task. So if you haven't met Dave before, Famil, this is Dave. Dave, this is Famil and the Tangent team, and that's called networking. Ta-da! That's how that works. Dave, I appreciate you putting this together. I remember the day I asked you about this because I reached, and I'm not going to turn this Spaces into a self-help seminar or anything, but I reached out to Dave one day and just said, hey man, I need your help. And that's a hard thing for people to do, it turns out, to just say, hey, I need help. And what Dave was able to do when I came to him with my problem, which was, hey, we've got a lot of these wallets. They're super cool. And we allocated a lot of them for the community. And frankly, we just didn't sell as many as we expected. What do you think we could do? And it did not take him less than 5 minutes to have this solution put in place. And to him, my problem was seen as such a beneficial thing. Like it was like something fantastic had fallen in his lap. So it was such a benefit to me. And I just want to say that I'm grateful for that, because that particular day was kind of crappy. I was having a crappy day. And I reached out to Dave like, bro, I need your help. So thanks, Dave, for kind of sticking up for me, and by extension, like nearly 15,000 holders. I think we're like 100 people short of 15,000 holders. So I appreciate the Cryptic community and Dave. I keep saying Dave, but the Cryptic community as a whole for jumping up and making this a much better situation for me than I thought it was going to be. And I want to hear what Famil has to say.
First of all, really thank you, Dave, for just jumping in there. And I can only remind everybody, if you don't have a bad AI wallet, I can highly recommend it, because there is only a limited amount, and we will never ever print or bake more than we have right now. 350 sets is the only amount there is. And I can tell you, in a year, in 2, or maybe in 5 years, when this project is skyrocketed and everybody's using it and it is up to the top, you have gold in your hands if you have one. I had 2 sets for me, one for use for one of my daughters, and one for me as a trinket in my drawer, what I will never touch and leave it originally sealed. So I can highly recommend get your hands on one of these pairs and get it. It's the best. Okay, sorry, no financial advice. For me, it's the best invest I can do in a hardware wallet.
Flash your bad idea AI Tangent card and get into the after party at a conference for free, right? So
Something like that.
It's easy to throw a perk on something like this.
Could be. I mean, it would be cool to have a situation where if people could flash that at the door. If you were having an event somewhere, I'll just pick like a Consensus or a Miami or wherever you were. Theoretically, you could use something like that as an interesting way to just be like, hey, if you flash something like this, there's special merch at the table for you. Like if you were one of the 350 holders of this, let us know, and we've got a shirt to go with it or something like that. That's an interesting idea. How did I not think of that? Are you the marketing guy now too? Holy cow.
I'll go wherever there's a gap in talent. I'll shut up now.
I feel like that was backhanded. You're so good at that. That's good. No, and Famil, that's a good point about how cool it would be to have one that was, so to speak, vintage, and what that might be worth or valuable to somebody to be able to pick something up that is particularly interesting to them because of how things have changed. Cool idea. And Dave, with what he's doing at Cryptic, you guys make sure you click on his profile. And if you've ever been upset at your browser, or you're also more interested in what I'm talking about has like Shibarium integrations, make sure you check out the Cryptic browser. Every little download helps when you're working with products on the App Store. Some of you might not be familiar with that, but App Store products are weird. So downloads and reviews are very, very helpful for him. So every little download helps. Go test the product. Even if you don't like it, you can leave a review and tell people that it was mid. Xander's is still probably not available for a microphone, but remember, buddy, if you're ever around where you can jump in short with a microphone, I'd love to hear what you've been up to and what's going on. But I know you're in a place where speaking might be difficult. So, let's go. He's got that hand up, you guys. Mike's yours, Xander's. How are
Hey,
you?
what's up? What are you? I glad to see all of you here in this space. To friends for bad idea, and I'm glad to see many friends, many people, all cheer me, friends projects, friends from the team, and all family here to celebrate this big space in Christmas date. So it's so amazing. Um, Listening all you see, you what you say, and you update about the project, about all is so amazing. So I am glad again to stay here, to listen to you all. Um, my best wishes to Bad Idea, to our friends, to Shane, to Mr. Lightspeed, to all T Army friends, project friends, Creed Did, I see Charlie here, and many friends. So thanks again for coming, for listening, and for trust in Shibarium.
I appreciate you carving out the time. Like I said, I know that you, and like everyone else, could be doing anything else with your time. And being here is really cool. If you guys aren't following Xander's, he hosts his own spaces. They actually wrapped up their final weekend spaces for the year, and they are waiting on the restart for 2024. But for Shiba Inu news and basically just like blockchain conversation, he hosts at least one a week. They also do Spanish language spaces, which I am not a Spanish speaker, but if you are a Spanish speaker, particularly someone looking for native Spanish Shiba Inu news and stuff, please make sure you're following him because that's going to be where it's at. That's going to be the place to be for your language updates. And that's true, by the way, for anyone in international language spaces. If you've got a connection with someone that does spaces in a different language, make sure your community knows about that because not every host is multilingual. I certainly I have misses in that area too, so that Xander's is able to do that is fantastic, and anyone else that's looking for it can go follow him. And I've made my way around everybody. Pulse Digital over there is just my other account up here. I'm ghost riding the whip over there in the other account. So if you're interested in following me in my non-bad idea account, it's that cute little adorable girl over there in the corner. Don't let that freak you out at all. And don't ask me any questions at all about that. And then the other person that's up here with a microphone is actually Alexander's got a microphone, and he's been sitting up here quietly and not raising a hand because he has spaces etiquette. Alexander, is your microphone work, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Xander's. We can't spell Alexander without Xander. So, got to give respect to that. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas is coming up. It's that season of giving. It's that season of love. It's a beautiful time of the year. And the winter solstice is here. So it's brighter days are ahead of us. We've hit the all-time high of darkness. So I know over here in Canada, it's dark, it's gloomy, but we have brighter and brighter days ahead of us. I love the summer. I can't wait for summer solstice, and we're headed in that direction. So it's always a pleasure to be among the Bad Idea AI fam. I love what you guys are doing. I think that we're in the productivity era. We are at the dawn of an era of just information overload. We're seeing efficiency. We're seeing AI become the sous chef, the co-pilot, if you will. And it's beautiful to see how machine learning will just take our skills to the highest level possible. I think humans are really good at storytelling and emotion. And so AI is going to come in, help us with a lot of stuff. I love what you guys are doing by increasing accessibility and having different languages and all the cool stuff. I'm just only scratching the surface. What do I know? I'm just one guy. But yeah, it's an honor to be here. Lightspeed. Of course, he said he moves fast, hence the name. He moves at light speed. Shout out to Shane, the great showmanship. Shout out to Tangem, doing the great work. I love what I heard from Tangem about like listening to the good feedback, the bad feedback, all the stuff, because that is the only constant is change, and we have to keep growing and be students in our craft. So it's a pleasure to share this space with others, and looking forward to a nice, juicy Christmas around the corner.
And Alex and I go way back. For those of you that don't know who Alex is and stuff, obviously this guy is a Spaces pro. I feel like I just let the Kool-Aid man in the room and he like kicked in the door because you guys don't know who this is. And he comes in with that introduction and stuff. Follow Alexander for future Spaces interactions and stuff like that. And I appreciate you coming to hang out with the group up here. I also want to talk to Kate because I want to hear about Now Payments and some of the things that they went through, because I know when we were working with them, we integrated onto the website with Now Payments, and they've had a year too. So Kate, are you at microphone ready? Are you over there?
Yeah, hi, can you still hear me?
Yes. Can you give me like a little bit of like what you think was the roughest part of the year for you and what you guys did to deal with that?
Oh, wow, that's a cool question. I just want to start by mentioning that today was the day we tried to kind of, sum up the year. We were preparing our year in review blog article. And this is kind of perfect because this was the year we integrated bad AI. And this is something we should definitely mention in our article. I'm looking at this article right now, and I'm just finding a place to give a shout out to bad idea, which is a good idea. Always making this joke. But yeah, this is some good news. And I don't know, you asked me to find something rough, but to me, everything was, complicated but really cool. So like not rough, but something to, to achieve if we have ambitions, and we do. And for me, one of the greatest achievements was that we were able to onboard 1,500 new partners. So it means that 1,500 new businesses can accept BAD. Not too bad, right? Sorry. Yeah. And also, all of these partners, and we have more than 1,500. 1,500 is just this year. They come to us with all kinds of requests, like fix this and, create this so that the payment, flow is more optimized. And it's kind of difficult to prioritize between all those requests, but also very cool to see what kind of stuff businesses need. Like, for example, our new subscription program for businesses, again, to accept recurring payments in BAD or something like this. So that's really cool, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what kind of new stuff we should integrate for people to just use BAD as conveniently as possible,
No, I like that when asked to try and find something difficult, she's not able to find anything, because that doesn't mean there's necessarily anything wrong. It just means that from a certain perspective, things were going up, and I'm super glad. I just like asking questions because you know how it is. People go to Spaces all the time, and they're always digging for good news and trying to have that uplifting thing. So I'm just like wondering, like, what was the thing that you had to not talk about in Spaces? Because by this time at the end of the year, everybody's been through something that was kind of a grinder, I would have thought. So here's what I want to do next, because we talked to everybody up here. And now I want to go, because what was that, like 35 minutes? That's literally 30 minutes from the point that we did the room reset. So let's do another room reset. Hello. We just finished the introduction and light banter portion of an X Spaces. My name is Shane, and I'm the Bad Idea host. I am not a computer. I am a human like you, here to guide you through a delightful X Spaces chat. And what we're going to do next is you're going to go and leave more comments. I tricked you down in the bottom right corner because it's only at 20. And I need you to share the Spaces again. If you just got here and you weren't here for the beginning and you haven't shared the Spaces, you need to share it. You need to tell somebody that we're here doing the Spaces. Like Alex always says, I don't care if you send it to your grandma. Let her log in and listen. She'll enjoy it. It's a good time. And what I want to do is ask everybody. I think Cryptic dropped down and might have to request back. Whoever wants to come up now, this is going to be the part where I'm going to ask some questions. questions. So if anybody down there listening, here's something and you're like, man, I got to get a piece of this. Here's where I want you to come up. So we were talking about what everybody had a hard time with this year. I want to touch on some basic news stories, kind of like a skipping stone across 2023, and just hear your guys' reactions to some of the stuff. So I want to talk about, first of all, Sam Bankman-Fried getting his trial and guilty and now waiting for conviction. That was a huge story for 2023. Who here had that on their bingo card for 2023, that would have gone that far? I know that Alex could go on Sam Bankman-Fried. Remember, it's a recorded Spaces, bro. So without killing the guy live here on Spaces, can you, because I know you talked about it a lot. I've heard you talk about it on Spaces. Was that on your bingo card for this year?
Well, we've been thrown definitely a lot of Joker cards our way during 2022 and 2023. So, I guess I just learned to expect the unexpected. Sometimes history doesn't repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes. With SBF, all the best for Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried. It's just another comedy ball that's thrown against crypto, be it the Elizabeth Warrens or the Do Kwons or the SBFs. This is the price we pay. You got to speculate to accumulate. And whether it's SBF or whether it's gamifying their funds and playing League of Legends simultaneously and, doing Cirque du Soleil gymnastics at the same time, to each their own, So I think that we're going to be headed to a more galvanized crypto community. I try to look at it, and that's one of my struggles too, is like, I think often we're in the middle of what we prayed for. If we're going to continue to be grateful and have gratitude, we'll try to look at the upside potential because, looking at projects that get flooded or projects, it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and the drama, but that's also opportunities where people make large amounts of wealth. So with SBF, hey, wish him the best. I wouldn't go give him my money. I wouldn't go to FTX or something like that myself. But I just see it as like comedy. I just see it as like, get the popcorn out and whatever happens, happens. It's like some Judge Judy type beat.
Dave, what's that been like for you as a guy who has a little bit of developer experience to hear the pleas of ignorance or that he didn't maybe understand or know what was going on as someone who knows how that goes from the back end?
You know what? I think it just really shows that. I mean, I would say do your own research, but I'm kind of fed up with the term. It shows that if you're really going to start a business, you need to be, 1, fully accountable, 2, public with your records, and 3, well, actually do what you say you're going to do with your funds. Otherwise, you find where we are now. I mean, it really did not do well for us in crypto, did it? It really put us back a bit. So I think, if anything, what it showed me is that if you're going to do something yourself, you need to be spot on with every single cent. That's kind of what I took from it. Him himself is just a bit of a clown, isn't it?
I mean, it was the hubris, I think, that ended up being the biggest thing, is that he was in everybody's face all the time. Made himself a big target. Lightspeed, we've had conversations along the way about SBF. Do you feel like that he's actually going to get any time? Because I've seen the debate about whether or not he'll even spend time beyond time served once they finally get to the trial, which is next year. So he will have been in federal custody for almost 6 months already. Is there any chance that they're just going to look at that and say, hey, man, 6 months is enough plus whatever fines and stuff because he's a nonviolent first time offender? Or is he going to spend some time for it?
They're better fucking not. I mean, that's just ridiculous. If it's just time served, I'll go ape shit. You saw me when I was trying to help and lead projects last year when the wreckage ensued, and it hurt a lot of people. It hurt me. It hurt the whole projects, destroyed them, wiped them off the face of the map, and I emphasize with that. So while the other speakers may be a bit generous, I'm unfortunately unfiltered a lot, and I just hope I hope he burns in hell.
I can hear your blood. I can hear your blood pressure. Is that a normal thing?
No, I normally I'm a lot more cool, calm, and collected. But you scratched the scab wound, and it hurts.
I know, man.
And
so
yeah, because for those who knew me last year, what I was fighting up against, now it's about 18 months ago. That was a brutal time. I want payback. and I hope he spends a lot more time in jail. He fought it, SBF. He fought it. CZ, he owned up to it. He walked up. I mean, if I'm going to be, that was not on my bingo card. Was for a CEO to take ownership and say, "Yo, my bad. I screwed up. I'll do my time." Yeah, that's how you get your sentence shortened. You don't waste taxpayer dollars and make a trial go on forever when you know with a foregone conclusion. And so I'd give CZ more respect than SBF any time of the day.
That's a good point. I was going to get into CZ, but that's a great way to bring it up in the comparison that he took ownership versus what SBF did. And Alex has got his hand up. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Lightspeed was saying, for sure. I have a lot of respect for CZ because people's intelligence and time should be respected. And it's unfortunate the cascading damage to other projects and ecosystems as a result of bad actors in the space. There's a good saying that what people do, what people say they'll do, and I'm butchering it, but what people do and what people say they'll do are two different things. And whether it's SBF or, you know, the massive influencers of the world who may dilute information, and this is where AI plays a good role too, to help kind of democratize information, to help vet it, to help improve the lines of communication and improve signal versus the noise we get. I do believe that they do an injustice to small projects. Those are the ones who experience the biggest hurt. And you know, I'm optimistic, hopefully, that we get some more clarity, albeit USA's taken forever, that we can be pushing some more clarity and some more structure in crypto and for projects, because yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened with SBF. I think that what CZ did was at least very respectful, and he was respectful of everyone's time, and you know, took a slap on the wrist, took a penalty, stepped down. And yeah, SBF definitely did a lot of damage. I kind of like talk about it jokingly, but yes, it's very severe what he did. But I'm still optimistic on crypto, and it's unfortunate that, you know, other people become the falling dagger, if you will, going down with SBF as he pushes and fighting tooth and nail to try and save himself, only to result in this situation, really wasting the time of the government, wasting the time of people. But, you know, there's always going to be these bad actors, unfortunately, in this space. And with more money comes even more problems. So with what Cryptic said, you know, that whole do your own research has become a meme in a sense. But, you know, we just have to kind of vet and pay careful attention. And yeah, in this space, it's very hard, right? Because it's very digital. So we don't really see the body language, the tone. We're not dealing with people face to face. So it's much easier for people to kind of get finessed by people like SBF. So I have a heartfelt sympathy for people who have gotten hurt by the results of FTX and how they handle things, how they mishandle things. But hopefully I have a altruistic approach to crypto that we can kind of get some of that damage control and move towards a more positive limelight. But yeah, SBF earned his own karma, you know. SBF brought it upon himself.
Chris, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm just pacing around the room like crazy. It's just I'm just like going with centralization comes more problems, and I get you, Alex. I love you like a brother, and I understand what you mean when it comes to you may see some tighter controls and stuff and whatnot. But at the end of the day, not your keys, not your crypto, and the biggest damage that's ever been done to crypto has been by centralized exchanges. And this is coming from someone who's really good at managing them, because I don't trust them. So I keep an eye on them. I watch every transaction. I do everything on chain, and because I simply just don't trust that part of crypto. I understand their place for ease and efficiency. It helps onboard individuals, but I hope we can expedite their path to decentralizations as a solution, because that's where we got to go. And I think we got to change our whole mindset with it, because these characters, the biggest ones, that's what they have in common, I think, anyway. So people can come up and argue with me and disagree, and
that's why I put my hand up, because I was going to invite anybody up if they wanted to fight with Mr. Lightspeed. That's so coincidental. He's always in my head. Anybody else that has an opinion on that one, you're welcome to come up on that. That was about 15 minutes, give or take. I had one other thing that I think is probably the biggest story of 2023. It's a huge umbrella, so there's like a couple of sub concepts. So particularly with the guests that we have up here, because I know you guys and girls that are making up the panel and the listeners spend probably a disproportionate amount of time on there. I myself refer to myself as terminally online. So the other big story of 2023 has been the changes at the application formerly known as Twitter, now X, the platform we are on right now. And in regards to not just ownership changes or political ideals or things like that, but straight up the software differences, the things that have changed with verification processes, whether or not the check marks matter. Then you have to get affiliates, and then you get an organization badge, and just this stuff. If we went back in time a year from now, back to the last year, you'd be surprised how different things were on X. And I think some of you that are up here would be more apt to recognize the differences that have come, because there are those of us here that have to navigate the changes. I myself follow a number of accounts on X that are basically update bots that automatically post the code updates that are posted where X is watched, where you can watch that type of stuff. And you can just see as they're changing things, because every day what it takes for you to reach your audience on X changes every day. It's like a moving goalpost, and you wake up every day and have to figure out how to kick this new goal, how to find it, what it's going to take to get, how big is the goal today? Are the likes the most important thing, or now am I focused on comments? How many comments do I have to leave a day? Do I need to be a reply guy? Does being a reply guy hurt me? Have you ever heard that when you see the show more as you're scrolling the comments, that if you reply to anybody in the show more section, that it actually makes your profile less likely to be seen by others, because the show more section is like the dark swamp of the replies, and they're intentionally hidden for certain reasons you might not know. I mean, there's conspiracy theories about what it takes, and there's accounts now that exist like, I'll teach you how to get followers on X, join my academy today to get followers on X. This shit is real. It's as real as real. And those of us that are out here with accounts like Cryptic and Tangem and Change Now that are legitimately trying to build follower bases, it is hard to know what to post. It's just hard to know. Am I supposed to post serious business related content that links to my website with my LinkedIn? Am I supposed to post memes like Elon Musk, like completely irreverent horse shit memes that don't mean anything, and just hope, like what I call that the Wendy's strategy? Should I roast my customers relentlessly in the reply section and just make fun of them? It's hard. So I want some of you that are here all the time on X, like Xander's has experience hosting a lot of spaces. What's that been like? Alexander's been doing spaces. He did like 64, 65 in a row for the previous employer who shall not be named here. Some of you guys have got a insurmountable amount of experience on a platform that you're basically walking a tightrope on. And I'm just interested to hear from other people who are on X about X. So maybe someone could raise a hand if they want to touch on this first, or I could ask a more direct question. Anybody want to jump in? No hands?
I'll jump in. I think that you bring up a good point. It's people are always trying to narrow down what's that secret recipe on, making the algorithm work. But, an algorithm can't really track a lot of market psychology sometimes, like some qualitative data. You got quantitative data, you got qualitative data. So, for instance, like no one goes to a comedy show to see a robot tell jokes. They're expecting usually a funny comedian. Maybe it's Joe Rogan. Maybe it's like one of these guys. So I think that for me personally, I've just been trying to fire on all spectrums, at least with the accounts that I was affiliated with, the GM, leveraging AI, such as DALL-E 3 and all these generative AI to get a little bit more inspiration, because I think AI can give us both inspiration and streamline our efforts to work faster. You bring up some good points, though, because it's often crypto and with these algos, it's all about the micro details, like what you said there, replying to a quote unquote shadow banned comment, whether it was too spammy, maybe it was saying something provocative, maybe that affects your account. So it's really like Alice in the Wonderland going down the rabbit hole. So I think it can get really deep. My approach has just been I always believe in quantity and quality. because you can have the best pair of shoes in the world, but if you don't take a step, it really doesn't mean anything. So I think that just firing on every aspect. I had a laugh at this occupation I saw, and it said viral content designer. And it's kind of a paradox because 50 Cent, all these guys, they make hundreds of songs, and then there's some that are like the top platinum records. So I believe that just if you throw shit on the wall, excuse my French, and you just see what sticks. Sometimes some does, some don't. In my past, when I got some engagement with some from big names, I didn't expect it. Sometimes we don't expect something to perform really well, but it does in the public eye. What I do focus on is that qualitative, so human-centered design, generating positive emotions. If you can evoke emotion, then probably the chances of virality are higher, and the chances of people sharing that are higher, especially if it's relatable from a human aspect. So I think tapping into human emotion is very important. That's why when sometimes people are just nerding out and they're totally dismissing human principle design and how we think. If you combine how we think and combining like the algorithms, AI, leveraging everything, I think AI is getting stronger and stronger to get better with comedy and learning the psychology. Fusing the two will probably be the best approach to get maximum outreach. But Elon Musk, he's too busy playing Diablo and leaving like 100 bugs on X.
Yeah, he's working on whatever he wants to work on. You brought up something interesting. I do remember at a certain point in the year, I wish Alan was here from Pulse to talk about this because we would go on, that the amount of influencers who suddenly found AI generated image content just exploded, and the amount of people that were doing like GM posts, like you're describing it, that were all generating their own content for the first time. You could tell like everybody wished they had cool custom content, and they weren't paying people on Fiverr, or they weren't paying graphic designers. And then at some point, like in the spring, when these image generators finally popped in the mid culture, I would say the regular people, these influencers all of a sudden had these explosively colored, brightly colored GM posts and all these, crazy things to go with their content. And it was like, oh, look at you. You found Midjourney this year. Congratulations. You're adorable. I'm so proud of you. You did it. I watched that happen. That was funny. I'm glad you brought that up because that was like a little time capsule, like when everyone discovered that they could do that. And I still know people that use it, and they use it very well, and you can tell they've grown their ability to use it. I want to ask Famil, because I know throughout the year Famil's been doing a lot of spaces, and I'm curious what your experience with spaces has been. Like two things, like maybe like the stability of them, and then just what it's like to operate on spaces. Have you noticed hosts are getting better, spaces are getting bigger? What are your thoughts?
I mean, first of all, Jane, none of the spaces are the ones with you. I mean, I really love being with you. I really love feeling your energy, feeling your engagement. I mean, that's phenomenal. I really love that. So I need to be very honest. I'm doing not so much on X. I should do more, but I'm pretty focused on YouTube and a little bit on Instagram. But I'm gonna hear your words. So I think it's pretty important, first of all, to be authentic, to be what you are, to display what you are, and to draw a good picture of that. And for sure, I mean, if you have a host like you in an X space, that is half of the rent, and the rest is just the visitors, just keeping the stuff up. I don't know. I mean, you probably recognized that yesterday what we did during the Shiba during the Shiba space. Just bringing a little bit new stuff in with, hey, let's count down, do some giveaways, drop some comments in, and try new things, develop yourself new, think out of the box, and try new things, and that's what it's all about, I think. So I really love doing new things. I'm stepping away from a role as an engineering leader with the team. I'm pat myself right now back in crypto. So what it is, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm sorry. These are my 2 cents to that.
You don't owe me an apology. Never apologize for your opinion on an X space with me. That's one of the number one rules. The Team Pulse has few rules. One of them is don't apologize if you've never done anything wrong. Rule number one is always have fun. And I forget the other ones, but they're very important. I don't have them right now. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I love that he brought up being yourself. So often we're trying to like copy someone else, or our ego gets in the way. Or think of a musician when he was a beginner. Like just unrelentlessly just works on stuff, doesn't think too much. There comes a point where the master is so self-critical of his or her work that he's not getting work done as fast as the beginner. It's kind of a double-edged sword. And even for me, I had a funny channel I made with my brother where we just tap into our authentic selves. We'll get persecuted, we'll get yelled at, we swear, we're unfiltered, because if you're your authentic self, audiences, especially Web3, they're not stupid. They're all smart. All of you guys are intelligent. You guys are super early adopters when this market cap of all of crypto is smaller than NVIDIA. So when we tap into our authentic personality and we don't try to copy someone else, we also won't resent the work that we do. You know, I love dance music, but I'm not going to try to be Nickelback or make like country music. Let him do that and let me be me. So when we, yeah, I see the laughing. Yeah. When we lean into our authentic self, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes learning to be your authentic self means you try out stuff. This didn't work. That didn't work. It's okay. Fail forward and find who you are as a brand, as an identity, who you are visually, written, or verbal. And then you'll just lean into it. And don't worry about what others think. They'll always mock you. They'll always make fun of you. And just be your best version, because you won't resent the work. And in that is sustainability. You'll be able to do the work and just show up and have a smile on your face.
I like
Those, those
that.
are wise words. I'm going to swing this to Lightspeed and to Dave, because I was actually about to do this anyway, because I was going to talk about authentic self, and then I was going to talk about Dave and Lightspeed both. Are guys that I would say that focus on that, because they do video and they are doxxed, and people have seen their face more than I think a lot of places in crypto. And what I was going to segue with, and then I'm going to give the mic first to Dave, because he had his hand up, and then to Chris, because it sounded like he wanted to jump in. No takebacks, Chris. Dave had his hand up first. But you guys have heard that X is introducing video spaces for speakers, for hosts. You're going to be able to be on video or probably screen share as well. So authentic self is going to have a different meaning for a lot of these influencers, maybe that are just, ape profiles and stuff. Dave, what do you think of that?
You know what, you hit the nail on the head, and it's not just about the Twitter spaces either, is it? It's about the projects you make. I mean, we see so many which are just copies, and I think what I actually really want to see, and I think what I'm trying to do with Cryptic as well, is I want to see entrepreneurs coming. I want to see people with actual ideas that motivate them. I mean, me coming in with the IT side, I love it, but it's very, very different from a lot of things. But at the same time, I think what I've learned from working in the real world and being in crypto for a while is that, I cut the crap. Do something you really want to do something you enjoy, something real. And yeah, it's one of them, and if you enjoy your job, you never work a day in your life. But I still see too many sheep and not enough people with the balls to step up and put himself in front of people. I mean, Lightspeed does it even better than me. He's got his picture in front of us. But I think that's such a key thing as well. The only other thing I will say is, if you're building in this space, it doesn't have to be that different from Web2. You can be proud of what you're building and put your name in front of it. And that's just kind of how I am. If I'm putting the work in and I'm seeing the results, I want people to see who it is behind it. We know who Musk is. Why not all of us in Web3 as well?
I like that attitude. Chris, go ahead.
Well, I show my picture because I'm a really good-looking guy. So it's we all have different motives. I'm sorry that he has to hide behind his logo, but we all have our gifts. Being authentic, it has its pros and cons, right? For the longest time, I was Mr. Lightspeed with the logo, the invisible man with the top hat. And eventually I came out from behind that. And when I did that, it absolutely changes how you communicate with the public, having played both sides of that role. It will change. So there are people who will criticize me for the way I communicate who are absolutely anonymous, right? Well, because they're anonymous, they can get away with a whole lot of things that I can't, So I have to be very authentic. I have to speak and act in ways because I know I can be held accountable, right? So that's the key word: accountable, responsible. If you're out and you're being very authentic, that all comes with it. Now you can be your authentic self, anonymous, and I encourage you to do that. And I appreciate what Alexander is saying, but there are more degrees to that, and the stakes get higher the more authentic you become, and with that comes criticisms and the attacks and everything else that makes you nervous and keeps you awake at night.
Emil, go ahead. Emil, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I need to unmute myself. So I really need to add to your very good words, Ms. Lightspeed. It's really be valuable and also be respectful. But I mean, everybody is that here. But I think that's also a very, very big point of building up a good community and show respect and value to the people out there. Thank you.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I'm really glad Lightspeed touched base on the nuance, because if we take a look at artists like Deadmau5, Marshmello, often the anonymity, not that, I mean, Deadmau5 has revealed himself, but some artists don't reveal themselves because it can be a marketing strategy for better or for worse. So for example, if someone doesn't show their face, then the hero is in the mind of the viewer. Now, sometimes with stereotypes and prejudice in this, very complex time we live in, by revealing yourself, people are like, what? It's not what I had in my mind. I thought this guy was Captain Falcon, but he's just like this dude or that dude. Or I thought this. And yeah, I remember when Lightspeed had the light kind of, the little avatar thing. So I still remember that. So you're going to be a little bit more vulnerable, for better or for worse. Some people will kind of criticize you and be like, "Oh, you're this guy, you're that guy." It's key to just kind of lean into your confidence and believe in the work that you do, no matter what. So another thing is the vanity, right? How many people have Bored Ape PFPs but don't actually own the Bored Ape, and people take their advice like it's the second coming of Christ? So sometimes people will use that to influence people for a nefarious reason of like, yeah, like and retweet my stuff because I have a stupid JPEG, right? I mean, I love NFTs, so it really depends on intent. Likewise, you can take vanity to the next level of like, look at my TA, this is my TA, this is my TA. Guess what, guys? If the guys who are experts at chart analysis, which I respect, if they were experts, they wouldn't be on X selling programs. They'd be off in Thailand or off in whatever, the Bahamas, and be chilling and sipping on some coconut water, right? So there's definitely nuance with everything. And it's just important for users to kind of try and be aware, because that is the heart of all this human-centered design. If I change my pick to a Bored Ape, maybe I'll start, getting more likes and tweets and stuff like this. So yeah, these are a lot of the qualitative things that often can't be pegged to an algorithm or pegged to some sort of quantifiable thing. And humans are naturally not quantized, right? We love rhythm, we love groove, we love things we work better with approximations. If I ask someone, how long does it take to Walmart? They don't say 4.21111 miles in approximately 10 seconds. They give an approximate. So it's important for people, if you lean into the principles of design, you can use it to your advantage to try on capitalize. And that goes even with colors. The blue background behind Lightspeed conveys trust, and it's very softer, like it's, and that's just by design. That's why Coinbase uses it. That's why many others use it. So design principles can communicate with us in variety of ways. And he makes a good point, Chris, in regards to, we live in this world where people are completely anonymous and they'll just like castrate you and be like, you are this, you are that. And it's important, guys, it's the internet. Let's not take it too seriously. And we just got to do good work, be passionate, and try to treat people how you want to be treated, try and be kind as much as we can.
I would wrap that up, because I kind of agree with both of you a little bit, to say that I think going forward next year in 2024 and beyond, we're just going to see more docs people, because I think you're going to see more people comfortable with doxing just by nature. Those of us that are here as early adopters are probably the same ones that were in early internet chat rooms with weird fucked up names on AOL Messenger and ICQ. I still remember my ICQ number. And you guys literally can't know what Lightspeed was doing back in like the old internet days. Like, it's a crime if I talked about it online. So the generation of doxing is coming, and I think people are going to be more comfortable with it. This is me speaking as Shane and Pulse, not much so much as bad idea. I do think that there's always going to be a place for anonymity online. I'd like to fight for the fact that you could still be, but I just think that people are going to get more and more comfortable and they're going to roll over. So That's how I'm going to wrap that up. That's an hour into the spaces, on the nose, killing the timing today. Got another subject ready to go. I understand if you can't hang out. We've already been here for an hour. I'm taking a lot of your time, but I got at least one more subject, which so far these have been taking up about 15 minutes or more. So if you want to go another round with me, I got one more we're going to get into. Again, it's a very Shibarium Christmas with Bad Idea, but we're not talking about Bad Idea and all that that other stuff anymore. You missed that. Up earlier in like the first 30 minutes, we kind of talked about like everybody's brands and stuff, but we've had too much eggnog now, and we are just comfy in our blankets by the fire, having a crypto chat. So the thing about X, talking about how X has changed, what that also leads into, and I wouldn't, like I said, normally I've never done this in a Bad Idea spaces, so controversy abounds. I want to talk about the rise of Pepe. And why the hell did that happen this year? Because if we didn't talk about that, we wouldn't be talking about 2023. Frog season dominated a huge part of the spring and summer and still bled into some of the fall for a lot of purposes. And I have some theories that, because I've done a lot of spaces, that's all I do is talk to weirdos on the internet. The theory for me was, and I want to hear what you guys think about my theory, that Pepe was not that there was anything right about Pepe that caused it to pop off. It's just that there is an undercurrent of people that are just so ready for the bear market to be over. And Pepe kind of encapsulated that in like in a very hot bubble sort of fashion. And all the derivatives, of course, tried to make money off of Pepe, all the different frogs and dogs and logs that came after that. But why did Pepe happen? Because everybody in this room has very different perspectives. And I know we love Bad Idea, and I know we love Shiba Inu and stuff, but I hope at least somebody in here made some frog money this year, because there was a lot of frog money to be made. So did anybody in here have a positive experience with that? Or does anybody in here have an opinion on like why that much liquidity was able to flow into that market in a supposed bear market? What was that? What was that all about? How did that happen? Anybody? Lightspeed?
I'm speechless, because I think it was a collective middle finger to the bear market, and even if it was in its own little bubble, people needed a win and see some of that old-fashioned multi-X'd game, which I also think will be in our past as things. I hate the word normalize in crypto, but you know what I mean. As liquidity gets deeper, these charts will pump in a whole different way. So it may be the last bullish cycle as well, where we see these kind of things. But that was definitely a cultural phenomenon, which is really at the center of what meme is about anyway. And I don't think, and you've heard me say this many times, you can't escape the meme culture. It's impossible. Tony the Tiger is to Kellogg's and Frosted Flakes as a meme as to any other. You can do Lucky the Leprechaun and that cereal box. That is a meme. You if you're and you're looking at a cereal box and you got your favorite cartoon character on it, guess what? It's a meme. You can't get away from it. And so they picked a winner of a meme, a culture that people identify with. You had the right kind of people on board to press out that and embody that culture, that people can identify with it, and you got the recipe for success. So if you got something that people want to be a part of and enjoy the experience, and Web3 is a social construct, and you recognize that, you're being a good businessman. No matter how crazy and chaotic it may be in execution, which decentralization is going to be chaotic just because of its pure nature. That's what you get. And with some luck and some good timing, it can play out very well. And our most successful projects do have, unfortunately, you can't get rid of the element of luck. There's a little bit of that. I mean, at
For
any
sure.
point,
But you said it was the biggest IP they could have possibly chosen, though, because it had such an established subculture, and every sticker pack or Telegram group was already familiar with it, and on 4chan and Reddit and stuff like that. Like, you did not have to go far to find content. This wasn't some obscure Elon tweet, that sparked a meme this time around.
They weren't the first try at it either.
No, not at all.
So it has to come down to more than just the frog and
Yeah.
what they picked, because others have tried it. So it's got to be something more. There's some secret sauce, and there's some really creative juice behind that team. Even though they did inside that crew, it was very dysfunctional and fell apart, and they had massive liquidity drain because of it, and some
Yeah.
blacklisting and some other fishy stuff that happened. So they weren't even immune of the drama
No.
that projects go through. Every project's going
Al-
to go through dysfunction. And
Alexander, do you have the sauce?
Well, I faded on Pepe, but in regards to, I think Lightspeed touched base on a lot of great stuff, talking about like the past. It's not their first attempt. Sometimes some people think that like it's just a one and done, but they may not realize this could have been the 10th, 20th, 30th attempt. That comes back to what I said about throwing shit on the wall, see what sticks. Because it also wasn't the first Pepe, if you will. But I love that Lightspeed touched base on like the cartoon characters, the mascots, right? You got the Tony the Tiger, you got the Toucan Sam of Fruit Loops, you got the Leprechaun here. And with meme coins, sometimes we have people nerding out, not realizing how important human emotion is, because meme coins pop off because why? Well, they're fun. People like to have fun, relatability, evoke positive emotions, comedy, laughter. Also, storytelling, narrative, speculation, graphic design, and a charismatic leader. Maybe the charismatic leader is the Doge. Maybe the charismatic leader is Elon, unelected or elected, as the Doge father. And the same thing with Pepe. Memes are communication in themselves, right? We speak, we write, we read, but meme culture, how Drake really capitalized on it, are also a way of communication. They're so multifaceted in the way they can convey messages implicitly, explicitly. And I think Pepe, of course, was already like such a beautiful, recognizable meme, such a cute little handsome frog, right? And coming from a great designer. So I think it had everything going for it. I like how you said, I don't know if it was you, Shane, or you, Chris, it's kind of like the middle finger to the bear market. Yeah, I think people kind of got together and put together this pressure cooker, and right place, right time. And Lightspeed's right. Often there's still a little bit of that luck associated to it. I'm a big believer in cause and effect, but sometimes it's just right place, right time. And it just probably had all the right ingredients, and you had, voila, a nice little French toast or pancake or waffle, whatever floats your boat for that time. But I love seeing it. I didn't jump on the bandwagon, but I see what all these meme coins do, and I'm like, because there's a lot of power in observation to see how you can kind of fuse that into your own ideas and visions, rather than be like, oh, fuck this frog, I didn't get on it, go to zero, you know? I think Ivan on Tech, he's a great guy, says respect the pump, is the pump of all the projects, because take those observations, study those projects, and it might come right around with the right amount of luck and being at the right place in the right time to take those cues. So yeah, it's unfortunate what they did with the blacklist and this and that, but
Yeah.
I think you guys hit it in the nail.
It fell apart in the end. It as it often does. It fell apart in the end. Dave and Cryptic, did you make any frog money?
Oh, do you know what? I didn't. I wish I had. Do you know what? I think everybody's touched on it. For me, it's a combination of things. I mean, the brand in itself. You're right. It's got the exposure. It's got that kind of following. But then, I mean, I look at investors and I think a lot of it's psychological as well. Like, people like to feel like they're a part of something. You know, we've seen it with people buying up the equities before and sending it, like AMC, for example. I think there's a lot of that in crypto. You know, throw that in with some great marketing connections, and I just think that point in the market as well, people always want to be a part of something, and I think they did very, very well, and not only bringing the community in, but kind of solidifying them as well. You know, these guys were really doing something. Because I remember at the time when Shibarium was coming in, it was like, you know, I don't know where they've come from, but whoever's organised it's obviously galvanised them in a good way. For me, when I see a lot of people organised like that, I think there's got to be some really good organisation. You know, you must have great content creators, community managers, people directing them the right way to do the right things. I wish I'd bloody bought some, because it would have been a better Christmas.
Well, you guys have all actually kind of touched on something, and I'm gonna pick up on that, because that was exactly where we needed it to be in the terms of the time. But you guys mentioned what a good image Pepe was, what a good IP it was for the frog and stuff like that. So I want to talk about, as we're headed towards the end of the spaces, because I'm going to wrap it up in about the next 15 minutes. That'll give us an hour and a half of solid spaces. If you've been here the whole time, you're an absolute savage. You deserve some sort of a proof of attendance NFT, which I neglected to set up. So in your mind, everybody right now, close your eyes. I'm airdropping you an NFT to your mind right now. Picture it. That's the NFT you got for being here. That's called a memory. You can have that one for free. There's no gas. The question I have is, if Pepe was successful because it was an icon, because it had intellectual property, what's with Shib? What's with Shiba Inu for 2024? It's like the biggest brand in crypto. Like Doge is big. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Doge person. I got into crypto because of Doge, and I'm not a huge Sheeb holder at all. You guys, please don't take me as shilling Sheeb. I'm asking you guys right now, because I know some of you guys in the listeners right now are probably Sheeb whales and holders and stuff like that. That's got to be where you go, man. The Shiba Inu logo and its very close derivatives are so important to this brand. They're so critical for Shiba Inu's success and Shibarium's success and stuff. So from a brand management perspective, which is what I do outside of Bad Idea, I just like marketing brain is my thing. I think the lesson that we learned from Pepe, because in April, you guys might already know this, you might not, it's only until April, until the Bitcoin halving or halvening, depending on what you like, occurs. And when that thing happens, the brands that are easily accessible and recognizable for normal people to see are going to be the ones they like. And cute puppy dogs always sell tokens when people come to exchanges for the first time and stuff like that. So I just hope that everybody is out there keeping in mind that for Shibarium related projects, and even the things that we do at Bad Idea and stuff like that, that the success with Pepe was seeded with almost 10 years of more than 10 years, if I had to go back honestly, of social influence of the Pepe intellectual property across various vast mediums, including comics, actual printed comics, and other medium. Matt Fury had been around for a long time. So this isn't me giving you some sort of a pep talk or a rallying cry about like Shiba Inu in 2024, but this is just to say that that brand identity, man, is powerful. It's strong stuff, because Pepe survived on bullshit, you guys. Bullshit. The market wasn't pumping at all. There shouldn't have been that much money here. It shouldn't have been like that. So when real money shows up, because I'm not the guy that says like we're so back, or we're gonna be back, but man, I hope people are ready, because if it does, and when it does, I'd like to be optimistic. The brands that are easily accessible, highly recognizable, and trustworthy are, I think, the easiest ones for platforms to pick up quickly. And we've seen that in the past. I know not everyone trusts centralized exchanges and stuff like that, but man, brand management is such a big thing. And Pepe rode a wave of bullshit into every exchange because they knew they were going to get the volume, because nothing was happening at the time. So ask not what you can do for your decentralized community's price on the DEX. Ask what you can do to make a centralized exchange think they're going to make money by listing you. That's what I would leave you with before I go to Alexander again. Alexander, what's up? What's good?
Yo, brand is so powerful. Like, I don't know of a cuter, more angry dog than that Shib, and I'll recognize it from light years away. Like, it's just, you see that cute dog. And I've spoken to my friend's mother, only knew Doge. She didn't even know what Bitcoin was. She didn't know what Ethereum was. As like a test, I showed my mother one day Pepe, just to see what her reaction is. And she's like, "Oh, he's so cute." I'm like, "Whoa, like I didn't even expect this reaction." So yeah, brand is so important. Often when people are setting something up, it's really about brand. Brand is everything. Brand for the clothing we wear, brand for the logos we represent. Why do we choose the certain clothing? Why are we wearing this Champion and wearing this and wearing Supreme and wearing that? People don't buy Supreme because it's high quality fabric. They buy it because of the logo and the name, right? And so I think brand is so important, and it's just one of those underrated heroes of the space. So shout out to Shib for coming in and part of what the previous speaker, I don't know if it was Cryptic, but it really forms a cult. It really forms a cult because it strikes on all the cylinders, and that's what the qualitative masters focus on. That's why meme coins will be here forever. Period. Said and done. Because the utility maxis are very out of touch with like human design. To which I can ask them, well, what's the utility of Las Vegas, right? Like, and that'll become a very comical conversation. I don't know, hookers, money, alcohol, gambling, money laundering, so on and so forth, right? It's not amazing utility. So the meme coins have capitalized on the incredible brand, the incredible storytelling, the narrative, the charismatic leader, and it's just beautiful because they foster more growth to all of crypto, and they foster more growth to DeFi, and I'll just end with this. Yeah, I think DeFi is so important. Not your keys, not your crypto is very key. And hopefully we're going to see everything just go to the moon and beyond. So yeah, shout out to Shib, shout out to Pepe. And it's going to continue to be this way. And clearly we're among some very intelligent speakers here. Make sure everyone's following all these speakers. Pepe is got a special place in my heart for that frog, you know?
I do. And I think a lot of people are going to remember that too when things change around. I don't know what's going to happen with any meme coin, but the ones that are recognizable, the ones that are already listed, you don't want to get caught not there. So shout out to all the people that manage listings and that are ready for that, because it's going to be a nightmare for you around April. Hope you're listening, Chris. It's going to be terrible. So let's see, 22 into the hour. Normally I would do like a little wrap up thing. So what I want to do is kind of touch base. So this might be the last spaces I think Bad Idea is probably doing before the end of the year. I also have other spaces that I do on my personal account, but as far as organized spaces, I don't think we have anything set up from here until the end of the year. So this would be the last you're hearing from me and Chris, Mr. Lightspeed, who is taking a much needed vacation. So after this, we're boxing him up, shipping him off. He's done. Let's go through and ask everybody what they would like to say to everybody, kind of wrap up the year and stuff like that. And then we'll give it a little closing speech if that sounds cool with everybody. Famil, are you around? You want to go first for me?
Yes, sir. I'm happy to. First of all, thank you for all the great people. I know I said that earlier, but I couldn't say it enough. It's a pleasure to be with you, to spend time with you, to learn from you. That's the most important thing for me, to learn and to get to new people and networking. It's a pleasure, and I could only say let's bust out the shit of 2024 and get to the next level. I'm looking forward. I'm happy to see what happens next year. And it's not only the halving, it's also the ETFs that are coming up in the States. It's Gary getting some kicks that he's gonna need to have some, and also getting so many more people on board to help them understand what's the blockchain, what's the technology, what's the method behind there, what's the possibility, and not only buying cute pictures on token. So yeah, thank you. That's from my side.
Yeah, man. Thank you for, like I said, for coming and for everything you've done for crypto in general, because you're out here as a voice for the space. It's a voice for a product, and you're making people more comfortable, particularly on the security side, making users more comfortable with crypto benefits all of Web3. So you're out here doing Satoshi's work, I think is what we would say. I appreciate the work that you're doing, man. And I hope in 2024 you just get a boatload of money and everything that is in your bag goes to the moon, man, because I appreciate you. Alexander, we had a couple people leave. Xander's is no longer in his speaker spot, which is totally fine. Xanders, I appreciate you for coming and hanging out. Xanders was here representing the Sheeb team, but he's way more than that. He's just a dreamy guy, you guys. So don't just see him as a representative of the Sheeb team. Make sure you're following Xanders for his 2024 opening space. I'm sure it'll be a big event when he and Ragnar finally go back live again. If you want to be a part of that spaces, you'll have to follow him to get the notifications when he does that. We also had the team from Change Now was here. She had to leave there. We were running a little bit long. But Change Now was here with us, and we appreciate what they've done, the integration of their payment software and stuff like that. When we finally get the keys to the website and Chris gets control, it'll look totally different with a lot of that stuff. And then Alexander is here. He stopped by today. Some of you might be meeting Alex for the first time, but like I said, Alex has been a friend for a very long time for me, and both for Mr. Lightspeed and stuff. He's a very accomplished Spaces host with, at this point, I'd have to assume well over 1,000 hours in the host's chair, which is no small accomplishment, a YouTuber, a sound audio expert, and things like that. So if you need help with that kind of stuff, Alex is the kind of guy you ought to be following for those types of things, because he's a mercenary like me. So get in touch with Alex. Alex, before we go, you want to say anything to everybody?
Just thank you for the impeccable, excellent showmanship that you have, Shane. You're a 1-0 type of man, and you guys are among legends here. Lightspeed, Cryptic, you guys, Xanders. I want to give a thank you to everyone, and for Bad Idea AI for hosting this incredible, very Shibarium Christmas space. And I also want to just spread that jolly cheer for the next few days, guys. It's bright days are ahead of us, and have a excellent Christmas. Spend that time with your family, unwind. Remember to give some love and pat yourself on the back. And it's about giving and just having a good time. So thank you to everyone. This very heartfelt, warm community. It's always love. And yeah, man, everyone have a great Merry Christmas this year. And it's going to be a banger 2024, another alpha because, of course, Family was going in with the ETFs and that stuff. Also, Google is relaxing crypto ads. So Google's relaxing crypto ads in next year. So there's a lot of great things to look forward to. And I'll also add this: if your projects you're looking at are going sideways and there's a lot of negativity, this also upsets bulls and bears. So set some strategies. Take some time away sometimes, sometimes touch the grass, go out for a walk. And remember, don't always take life too seriously. It's not always a bad idea to just unwind and enjoy life a little bit. So thank you for this space.
So smooth. He did that so well. I wouldn't have even known he meant to do it on purpose. That was fantastic. Guys, make sure you're following Alex. I appreciate your wisdom, dude. You're wise beyond your years. I know you've heard that before, but it's probably the beard, from what I understand, how wisdom works. Dave, also a wise bearded man. Before you go finish wrapping your Christmas presents and stuff, you got anything for everybody before we go?
Yeah, sure. Do you know what? I mean, I just want to start by obviously thanking Bad AI for the space. But further than that, you guys have showed us the way of a lot of things in the last few months, and it's appreciated. So I think it's very important to learn from good people. Always surround yourself with the best people. And I mean, at the same time, I look down, there's multiple ship team guys here that have been working hard. All I'm going to say is I think we've done incredible so far. But, take some time for Christmas, relax yourself, because next year is, the bull run is coming potentially. The Bitcoin ordinals are bringing it forward a little bit as well. So we may not have as much time as we think. All I will say is use your time effectively and make sure you remember why you're in crypto as well. We've all got families, we've all got friends. Look out for them. Christmas can be lonely for some people. So make sure everybody's good. And apart from that, it's been a pleasure, man. It is an honor to jump up with you guys. Alex, pleasure to meet you, mate, as well as everybody else.
Dave, I appreciate you. It's been good getting to know you over the last couple of months and stuff. So if I could tell everybody, I want to kind of sum up what he just said for everybody, because I heard the Dave speak in the undertones. What he said was, enjoy your Christmas, you sons of bitches, because come the middle of January, he is not going to take your crap anymore. I hope you're ready to build out the chain. Dave's coming for it, guys. Dave's ready. I know it. I've heard it. I know what he's actually after. So if you're a Shibarium developer, man, and you're not already talking to Dave in the DMs, you guys better get together because he's ready for next year. And finally, before I go, Mr. Lightspeed, one of my favorite guests, a great friend of mine, dude. I just appreciate you carving out the time. Your poor family must think that you and I are such weirdos to do this all the time.
Yeah, especially when I'm on a road trip and you call, and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh gosh," and so that everyone has to hear you on the speakerphone.
Yeah, it's fine.
But let me thank the community, because it's got to be all about that. I'm not in charge, but I understand that I'm entrusted by people, and so I hope I'm making you proud. I hope I know there will be people that be disappointed, but at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a loud voice making his opinions heard. And guess what? I may use words like guide and Sherpa instead of lead and direct. But at the end of the day, it's about the B, it's about the A and that D. And when we get to that DAO, expect even more caucusing and more politicking and even more craziness. So if you think it's crazy now, wait till you get to the DAO. So I'm telling you, there's more to come. We got a lot to do. I want to get on Shibarium, right? There's a lot of stuff, but it's all in the how. And we are partner Shib. And that partnership, and I always emphasize that last part, means that we got to look after our partner, represent that partnership well, and at times we need to consult. And I'm very curious to know, get some more targets to shoot at, and go, hey, this is the guidance on how you should bridge over, for example. Now go forth and conquer. You're decentralized. This is what would make us happy. Now you go and do what makes your community happy. So simple as that. The AI, I think, is going to shift to, now that we've got the structure built, to how can we now plug in partners and friends? There are lots of partners and friends with some very cool tech. And my vantage point is how can I turn that into an AI generated thing? So how can I take a prompt, your prompt chain, and turn it into a SQL database query, and then have it returned back through the AI? So instead of just getting the raw database result of a very important figurehead that has joined a crypto project, the bad idea AI tells you in response to your prompt. So we're going to try to figure those things out. And there's a lot of friends who have tech, the APIs and developments that we can plug into, but now we got to connect that last mile between the two, right? For analogy. So that's where I see on the A, and the B is obviously the blockchain part. And I think when the time comes and we figure out the how, there's going to be a very, very large purchase of bone. We're going to need wrap bone. We're going to need to wrap the bad. And my napkin mesh still says that's got to be a big number so we don't drain. We're a layer 1 project. We don't want to drain that liquidity. So you got to pair up enough liquidity on a layer 2 so you don't get liquidity drain. That's the one thing I'm most worried about. I want to protect the project. I know people want to get us on Shibarium, and that's a lot of liquidity to bring over, between $500,000 to $1 million worth. So just buying the bone in and of itself, without any other events surrounding it, by bad idea AI is bullish in and of itself. So if we can properly market and sequence all those events, you can, and that's part of it. You just don't bridge. You take all these events, set up a good master plan, and execute. You can turn that into something very exciting. So it's not as simple as people make it look, because we want that to be highly successful. You just don't want to launch and it's like, yeah, they're trading over there on Shibarium, whoop-de-doo. We want to blow it up. So I'll leave it with that. We do got plans on every letter of B, A, and D, and I just appreciate the community and everything they've done so far to support that.
I would reinforce that by saying, if you have not already gone to snapshot.org and joined the Bad Idea DAO space that exists over there, that's a thing now. You can do that, and it would be a great place for you to go. There are no proposals currently pending, but it will give you a place to go get familiar with the platform. It is legitimate.
Yep,
it has been.
Snapshot. Yep. We formed
that's a real
something
thing.
there. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it. We do got a DAO construct there. I do want to talk to the lawyers and see if we can get a wrapper on that, because how does a decentralized organization get legally enforceable agreements with others, right? So there's a lot of challenges and layers to this, and we want to do it right. But we got the tech piece put together, and if the community likes it and they want to ratify it, that's fine. If they want something custom, okay, well, now we're going to talk money, and so, and time and energy. And yeah, I'll share that link again.
Yep, and it's up there in the pinned posts as well for everybody looking for it. So if you haven't been over there yet, you want to make sure you check out the snapshot.org. The other thing I would mention before we go, for Bad Idea housekeeping purposes, would be that if you haven't already checked out the Shiba Sands Mint from Cryptic, the FFTs that he was talking about, you would want to do that on Mantra. They are still available on the Shibarium chain. I think it's 10 bone is the mint price, and there's very little gas fees to go along with that. So if you heard what we were talking about, if you haven't seen them yet, they are artistically very delicioso, and they are still available over there. And like he was mentioning, a certain number of those will win a Bad Idea Tangent wallet to go with the purchase. So check them out over there. And then before we go, on my end, I would just say thanks to everybody, both as the Bad Idea account, because I get the opportunity to speak for a lot of people, which I'm not unaware of the risk that comes from people giving me the keys to do this. I appreciate you guys letting me come up here and be the voice, as it were, for what we're doing, because I do go to other spaces. Sometimes I don't set up huge invites. Sometimes I jump into other spaces and I don't even tell people that I'm doing it, because sometimes just being present is the thing. So thanks for letting me do that. And I hope I'm doing a good enough job that through 2024, we can keep it up and keep getting the word out there. Seems like so far everybody that does spaces enjoys it. And if you enjoy it, you'd probably enjoy following my other account too. That's right, that little blonde girl over there that hasn't said anything, that's being super weird and shy in the corner. That's me. Gosh, thanks for noticing. You can follow me. That would be great. I have a whole lot of other spaces, a bunch of irreverent, somewhat offensive content and memes that I share from time to time. It's all part of what we were talking about earlier when it came to figuring out the algorithm, being yourself, being authentic and stuff like that. So that X account over there is dangerously authentic. So follow at your own risk. And in the meantime, if you need anything from any of these other speakers, the ones that were here earlier, the ones that are here now, you are already following them because we gave this call to action a number of times. You followed Xanders, you followed Tangem, you followed Change Now. You're following Alex and Cryptic and Mr. Lightspeed. You already followed my account. And obviously you're here because you followed the Bad Idea account. So thanks, guys. I hope you have a very Shibarium Christmas this weekend. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I hope it's full of family and fun and good times. I hope you're taking some time off. I hope you get some chance to come back, because much like what I said about Dave, I want everyone to come back refreshed and ready to do the work. Let's kick some ass. Let's get ready for New Year's, because when that clock rolls over and stuff, I think it's time. I think we got to get ready. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. We're closing out the space. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great Christmas, y'all.